America and everywhere else in the world. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Corey Has a Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Easley. And right before I started saying hello, America and everywhere else in the world, I had a Big Pun moment. I used to listen to Big Pun all the time. I still do, actually, when I'm working out. I love Big Pun. He is one of my favorite representatives of the Bronx that we have ever had. He's the best representative of the Bronx we ever had. Because he was really dope at what he did. But sometimes in his songs you would hear him take a big deep breath and then he would start rapping like, "You can catch me in the Chevy Red 150, and it's so hard." That was a jam. That was a summertime hit. Isn't it interesting how we will assign certain songs to certain seasons, right? Like that's a summertime banger. I think of that song as a summertime banger. I'm specifically talking hip hop at the moment, and it doesn't only have to be hip hop, but since I'm on the subject, there's a couple of bangers that are hip hop songs that truly remind me of the summertime, specifically like, "If you want me to stay, I'll never leave. If you want me to," and it was, that was like a summertime banger, right? Like all those Ja Rule songs that he did with like when it was like a love song, but it was like a rap love song, like "Love it when you look at me, baby," like all that shit. And he was like, "Your lips, those eyes," and we let Ja Rule sing like that, and that was cool. That was cool. That was back in my favorite time of music when everybody intentionally sounded like themselves and everybody did not sound like everybody else. You know, I had a talk. This is how I know I'm getting older. I had a talk with a man much older than I, in his 50s, and he said to me, he said, "You like old school hip hop?" And I was like, "Actually, yes, I do." And then he started playing this Cool G rap song, and I knew the song, and he was rapping it, and he started performing for me while I was waiting for one of my clients. He was like the front desk attendant, and the front desk attendant he's the door guy, right? That he's the guy that lets you come in the building or not, and he knows everybody because he sees everybody all day. And this dude came out from behind the desk while I was sitting there. To be specific, I was sitting across in the little lobby area, and he starts playing this song and starts rapping it for me. And I was just like, "Damn, bro, like that's dope." But, you know, it was Cool G rap. I knew it was Cool G rap because it sounded like him. And I didn't listen to a bunch of Cool G rap when I was younger, but I did recognize the song. You know what I mean? And it was cool because you were just recognizable, where, you know, things are just a little bit different now, where something could be on now and I really won't know who it is unless I look at the name on it. But I feel like we're moving away from that. I think the cool thing about people, like what happened was, I feel like hip hop kind of just became a little bit more just pop music. And it became more because hip hop is such a young genre of music. Like hip hop has not been around, and rap music has not been around as long as most of these other genres. So it when I think of it that way, when I think of like how hip hop and rap was for people initially, came from the Bronx, came from New York. We invented it here. And originally it was by people who are from places like where I'm from, and it was for my type of people, right? And then eventually it started to branch out. So it's like, it almost like, yeah, do I miss a certain era of music? Yeah, that's just me personally, right? Like, I thought wrestling was cool back when The Undertaker and Stone Cold and all these motherfuckers were wrestling The Rock and shit. Like, I thought that was cool, but it's different now. It's not going to always, things are always going to evolve. Change is always going to happen. And you can get with it or you can shut the fuck up, right? Because the thing is, after a while, people just kind of get tired of hearing you complain about how you like the way shit used to be. It's not like that anymore. And if somehow you manage to figure out how to build a time machine and go back to where you like it and just stay there, then cool. If not, take your bullshit somewhere else. All right? And embrace the new. Embrace the new. Step out of your comfort zone. A thing that was always very difficult for me my whole life was stepping out of my comfort zone for fear of not feeling safe and secure. Right? You don't feel safe and secure when you're not in your comfort zone. If you live in your comfort zone, you will never grow. So, we discover, so back to the music thing, we discover other genres of music. Hip hop moves into the mainstream. So you can talk to somebody who grew up somewhere else, like Indiana, and they will sometimes know about some shit you thought was like, oh, this was like some underground rapper that I know about, and they'll know about it. They might even put you onto something that you didn't know. And I think that's cool. I think it's cool that people get inspired by other people that created things elsewhere. And then they also try to do it. I think it's a huge, it's like giving props, it's like paying homage it's like an homage. Do you say homage or do you say homage? And are they the same word? Find out next week. No, but yeah, it's kind of like giving props. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I like what you do so much. I'd like to do it too. I respect the game so much. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do my version of it while still respecting the game. Like, I think that's really dope, and I think it's nice to see the talent come out. It's nice to see people have talent. Like, we need entertainment in this world. We need it because there's a lot of motherfuckers that that are in charge and in front of your face and doing shit that's, it's like we don't have a lot of control over everything in our lives. So it's nice to be able to specifically go look for things we like on purpose. I will say this. I do miss radio being more prevalent, and I do miss like regular TV, only because, as I just said, it's not the way it is anymore, so shut the fuck up, right? I'm talking to myself too. Only because I like when you'll discover new shit if the TV is just on and you just happen to be home or on the couch at the time. You're like, I've never seen this before, but my show is not on, so I'll just leave it on. And then you end up finding a new show. Or you're like, oh, I never heard this song, but it's on the radio and I can't hit next on it because it's just playing. So now I have to listen to it. And I'm like, oh, you know what? This is kind of good. I mean, I could change the station, but again, there's probably something else on that I don't know. And it's like, it's cool to discover. I mean, you have to kind of really seek new shit out now. Because also just the way, like, even on Spotify, you're listening to music, and then it's like, this song is suggested for you because you like this song. So everything that you're getting suggestions of is just kind of similar to the shit you like, and it makes it difficult to discover new things. Like, I work in group fitness now, and part of my job is to create a playlist. And when you create a playlist for a class, depending on the type of workout it is, you want the playlist to make sense, right? Like, you're not going to fucking walk into a intense strength and conditioning class where it's like you're lifting weights, but you're also doing a combination of cardio shit and your heart rate's elevated and you feel like you want to die. And you're in there listening to fucking Bon Iver. Bon Iver, you're not going to do that, right? So you got to put a playlist together. Also, you got to think, I am going somewhere. Anyone can show up and come in and sign up for my class. I'd like to play things that appeal universally to people in the class, right? Maybe there's something in there that I like. Maybe there's a remix of a song, whatever. But it kind of has to make sense for the type of workout it is. And it's got to be fine generally for everyone, right? So when you think about that, it's like, how do I discover other types of shit if that maybe other people might be interested in? If my Spotify keeps going, have you heard this J. Cole freestyle? And I'm like, number one, yes. And number two, I can't play this shit in a fucking group fitness class, you know? So what do you got for me, Spotify? You know, I think we could do a little bit better. Instagram could do a little bit better at showing me shit that I might find interesting instead of things that it already knows I've shown interest in, because I can't discover new stuff. I want to learn more. I don't want to just live in this little fucking snow globe of a world where everything in it is like curated to the shit I like. At one point, I didn't know what anything was in ever. And then shit was coming into my life and I had to be like, okay, that's cool. Don't care for that. All right, that's cool. Okay, I'll take one of these. All right, and I'll grab one of these. This tastes good. Give me another one. I don't even like the way that looks. So I'm not going to try it. I don't care how ignorant that is. Motherfuckers get real upset when they want you to try something and you're like, no thanks, I'm good. And they just can't stand it, can they? This is one of those things, like I said, I say this a lot. I'm adding this to the things I love about being an adult. And when I say being an adult, I mean I am in my 30s. And when somebody offers me some shit and I do not want it, I can just go, oh, no thanks, I appreciate that. Right? And that's it. Now, if you offer it to me a second time after I already said no thanks, I'm going to take it as disrespect. I'm going to take it as, I don't give a fuck what you just said. Have this thing, I insist. Like you think that I am unsure of myself or something. Like I'm not sure. Like and also, by the way, if I'm not sure, I would say, hey, if I just straight up look you in the eye and go, hey, no thanks, I appreciate it, but I'm good, you gotta drop it. You gotta drop it. People who insist on you trying a thing and you say no already grinds my gears. What else you got? What else grinds your gears? I love that. I love thinking about that. But it's cool because when you're an adult, it doesn't matter. You know, and my mom is actually really, she's really bad about it. To the point where like, but it's my mom, you know, so I could be like, Ma, I already said no already. Come on, look what you made me do. And then she's like, all right, fine, I'm sorry. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm just trying to have a good time over here. And that's kind of how it happens. That's only a little bit of an exaggeration, like a tiny little bit. For the most part, that's 100% an accurate reenactment of my mom offering me something that I don't want. Except I didn't do the whole thing. It was abbreviated because normally she would try to get me to have it like 2 or 3 times. Which is crazy because once again, I'll be 34 this year and she has known me my entire life. And then I'll hit her with Ma, let me ask you a question. You've known me for a long time, right? When have I ever responded positively to this? Yeah, well, you know, and then she'll start doing this shit where she gets mad now. Now she's mad. But and then now it's funny to me. So that's our relationship, me and my mom. There it is. You guys all, I let you in, I peel the curtain back so you can see. She's great. You know what happens when you have parents that are young, because my mom had me when she was 20 years old, you get to a place where you're just an adult and so are they. And my parents aren't very old. And you can have that type of relationship with them. And I think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of cool. You know, one thing that does bother me when you're thinking about your parents, because it's like obviously we all eventually watch our parents get older and we become concerned for their health and their well being. And we just want them to be healthy, right? In general, right? So I do get frustrated with my mom if I think she's not taking care of herself properly. That's an adult thing, right? When you're a kid, you don't really realize it. This like nothing seems as serious or pressing as it is, and then you get older and you're like, shit could just happen to people. People fall down. My mom fell off a bus once. The bus wasn't even moving. She just fell off the bus. And I knew it was her fault, but I couldn't say it to her right away. I had to wait for her to heal first to be like, that was your fault. You fell off that bus, right? I love my mom. I spoke to her today, actually. We had a nice conversation. She said something to me. She was like, yeah, when my schedule gets better, I said, listen, I'm going to stop you right there. Because I do this too, and I thought about it earlier this afternoon. I was like, when my schedule clears, I'll do this. The truth of the matter is my schedule will not clear. It won't. Your schedule will not clear. You just have to make time to do shit that you need to do and that's important to you. That's just how it goes. So when you run into somebody on the street, you can continue to use that lie where you go, yeah, man, as soon as my schedule clears up, let's grab a cup of coffee or something. That's fine. We all know that we're not going to grab that cup of coffee. We all know that we don't really want to hang out with that person. But it's nice to acknowledge, hey, I knew you from somewhere. We used to work together or something. How many times have you run into somebody on the street and talked to them for like 5 minutes and you know them from somewhere and you walk away going, fuck, I don't even know that person's name. And that's one of those things I will say. If you follow them on Instagram or something, it's like, okay. But then maybe you don't know their name. Maybe you just know them by their Instagram handle, which sometimes is not their name. So the best thing to do, so this is what I do. I just call everybody bro. Hey, what's going on, bro? Man, woman, he, she, they, them. Doesn't matter. Everybody is bro to me. What's going on, bro? I especially do it to women. And I want other women to hear me calling women bro so that way they know, oh, he just does that. That's my thing. Then that's my 2 cents. You know what I mean? Use the bro trick. If you run into somebody, you feel embarrassed because you don't remember their name and they know yours, that's even worse. And they usually do. People do that shit to me all the time. Yo, what's going on, Corey? And I'm like, oh, God, why did I forget your name? I even tried that exercise for a while, and sometimes I just forget to do it. Like somebody will be like, hey, what's up? My name is Chris. And I'm like, oh, hey, Chris. And I'll say the name. I won't say it loud so they could hear me, but I'll say it a couple of times. Because if I don't say the name as soon as someone says it to me, I'll forget the fucking thing as soon as I turn around. As soon as I blink my eyes, I'll just forget the fucking thing. And I blink my eyes a lot. And I blink my eyes. I'll blink my eyes hard too. You ever see somebody blink their eyes so fucking hard? And you're just like, hello? Whew. Thought something was going on. I thought I was going to have to call an ambulance. Listen, guys. Have a nice day. Have a nice week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of the people you love. I got to go. But it's been real. Go try something new. Later.